So here he is. And I saw this coming. I mentioned it when I wrote about it yesterday. He's going to go on McAfee, and he's going to complain, or he's going to explain, and it's not going to be what he said. It's going to be something else. So here he is from yesterday with Pat McAfee and company, talking about his remark caught on a hot mic. And hot mics are everywhere when you're on a football field, and he's been around long enough to know that. Can't act surprised about it now. Here he is explaining his give me a few weeks comment.
I didn't realize that was going to get caught there. I mean, obviously that was said with a little tongue-in-cheek there. It'd be nice to be able to be back in a couple weeks. That's probably not anywhere near a realistic timeline, but a couple is, could be a few, could be a lot. It's more of a phrase that didn't have a specific timetable. But I said it smiling, joking. He was talking about how, he's excited for me to get back on the field at some point. And I joked that it'd be a few weeks, but obviously it's going to be more than a couple weeks. A few fortnights. It'll be a few fortnights.
Well, 7 years ago, our founding fathers asked, what the hell is a fortnight? Fortnight means 2 weeks. So a few fortnights means 4 or 6 weeks. And by then, it's probably over. By then, it's too late for him to make a difference. Even if he could make a difference right now, and I'm not sure he could. And I'm not sure it would be good for his long-term health, at least long-term as it relates to 2024 offseason, not having to hobble around on another torn Achilles or a torn ACL or some other injury. But if it's a few fortnights, it may as well be September of 2024. And let's just end this talk. And he suggested at one point recently, Chris, I think this was last week, just the idea that having that goal is what gets him through the pain and the just drudgery of the rehab process.
I hear that.
You have an immediate goal, not some vague goal from months from now, but I'm working towards something. I need to be working towards something, even if that something isn't going to be there. It's what I'm using psychologically to keep me on the path and do all this stuff. And maybe that's what it was at the end of the day. A combination of it gets him through and what a shock. A little more, hey, everybody, look at me. What the hell are you looking at? That we see from plenty of athletes and other celebrities. They want the attention on their own terms. They want everybody to turn and look, and then they want to say, look away. This isn't any of your business. It's not just him. There's plenty of people like that.
Yeah, I think, my feeling's similar to yours. A little bit talk it into existence, a little bit of a guy that, I think has great pride in what he is as a physical specimen. And, is the kind of guy that wants to push himself always to be like, look what I can do. I'm more gifted than the rest of you here, even in healing powers, right? I think that's in him. That's what's made him so great, right? A little bit of, braggadocio, too, to go on top of that. That is also a part of that, and showmanship. And I think that all leads to maybe putting out there some unrealistic timelines to become successful. But when it came time to kind of put your money where your mouth was and start to actually wait a few weeks, we're talking like, a few weeks. When you say that, it's usually 2 to 4 weeks. We're talking in a few weeks. Are we talking about that? That's where he's got to go, whoa. I don't know about that. And so now he's got to kind of put it back into reality a little bit. And I think as he was kind of stammering and trying to figure out a way how to get out of that on the McAfee show yesterday, he let us know that it's not around the corner here. I don't know when that will be anyways. I mean, maybe late December. I still think I find that really hard to believe, regardless of the situation. But this is what makes Aaron Rodgers. And now he's kind of got to walk it back a little bit and put his money where his mouth is. And he realized that a few weeks isn't quite there. That ain't happening.
And I feel like on Monday night, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman were trying to act like they knew something from talking to him, but I never got a clear, unless I missed it, and it's entirely possible I did. I don't remember a clear explanation from them as to anything he said. At some point they said December. Well, you know what? There's 5 games in December for the Jets. There's a huge difference between the first game in December and the last game in December as it relates to where the Jets are going to be at that point. So December is very, very broad. And if he's going to come back at all before the postseason, chances are it is going to be December because there's only one regular season game after December.
Right.
So, yeah, December. Okay, December. When? December 3rd, one day after his 40th birthday, when they host the Falcons? Or Week 18, when they go to New England for what very well may be Bill Belichick's final game ever as coach of the Patriots? So, look, I don't know what they can do at this point other than just hope the defense keeps playing at a very high level and somehow manages to continue to ignore how bad the offense is. That's the one thing that really impressed me Monday night in those final few drives by the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Jets defense was still bringing it like they had a chance to win.
No doubt.
Like they actually believed there was a chance the offense was going to find, while, groping through the dark, find a light switch and score a touchdown and make it interesting at the end. And it made me believe. Like, do they know something I don't? They're acting like they can still win this game. Look at them swarming to the ball, and they're excited afterward. Do they not realize that the offensive side of production just isn't there tonight? And they still kept going. They still kept going. I guess that's a testament to just the cohesiveness of the team.
Yeah, the head coach.
They're not beaten down by the fact that the offense currently blows. They're not affected by that. They still go out and do their job.
No, 100%. They're one of the best defenses in football, right? I mean, they're the typical thing, Mike. We talk about this a lot. They're the number 9th ranked defense in football. Well, we all know they're better than that. They're a top 5 defense in football. The problem is their offense stinks, and like we saw in this game here, as the game went on late, they just wear down. They're on the field constantly. Every 4 plays, they're back out there. So, the dam is going to break occasionally. You can't rush the passer at 100% capacity when you're like, wow, this is like the 70th pass rush of the night, and I don't have much break in between when I do it. In fact, I barely get to recharge or catch my breath, and we're back out there. So they're phenomenal that way. You're right. And that's why I think they got to continue to stay the course. Mike, one of the reasons I'll say this too. I think one of the reasons that I didn't hit on this a minute ago, that Rodgers maybe says this, is to keep the team fighting a little bit. I think it keeps the team with a positive, he might come back and save us at the end. So I think it kind of rallies the locker room that way. And then, of course, the defense and their talent and the pride they have. Hey, they've seen the offense be crappy. I mean, they saw it the 2 weeks before, really. And they still won the football game. Late in the Giants game, the Eagles game, it wasn't easy. Oh, wait, Zach Wilson makes a few throws. Holy cow, we might win this thing, right? So that's why they keep fighting. They are special that way. But, yeah, I also think that might be part of the reason Rodgers says what he says a little bit, just to keep the vibes and the spirit of the Jets football team on the up and up.
So tell me this, Dr. Simms.
Yeah.
Based upon your film study,
right.
What is your diagnosis as it relates to the current problems with the New York Jets' crappy offense?
Well, we didn't get to hit on this because we kind of started hitting on Rodgers, right? But the thing I would first off is go, a quarterback change to Trevor Siemian or Tim Boyle is not going to fix the issue. I mean, not at all. Absolutely not. And you've won some games with Zach Wilson, and he's taken care of the football, right? And at least not hurt them for the most part in some of these games. Even the other night, didn't throw an interception. Yeah, he got strip sacked twice, but, I mean, we were all watching the game. I mean, the pocket was collapsing in a hurry. Their offensive line stinks, right? Then you add on top of that they only have one receiver that really separates or scares you. And, guys like Allen Lazard and the rest of the group, they're certainly not winning one-on-one matchups on a consistent basis. The run game is spotty. We know that too. I mean, yeah, you give Breece Hall a crease, watch out, but the creases are few and far between in their offense. And then, of course, I don't think the offense can be maybe as complicated or as creative as it ultimately can be, because it's Zach Wilson still learning a new system, and this is not the system the Jets wanted to run, and they were dependent on Aaron Rodgers doing things at the line of scrimmage and people being able to digest that. So I think when you couple all that together, those are their issues, and I don't think a quarterback change, to those two guys especially, is going to make anything different or better. I think it actually will only make it more dysfunctional and worse, really.
How much of the blame goes to the offensive coordinator for not properly adjusting the offense to Zach Wilson instead of making Zach Wilson adjust to the offense and waiting for him to get to the point where he has his eureka moment and he understands it? How much do we put on Hackett when, I think about what happened on Sunday in Minnesota where Kevin O'Connell finds a way to make it work with Josh Dobbs, who just showed up. At what point is Hackett responsible for not changing everything and saying, okay, I know they brought me here to run the offense that we know works with Aaron Rodgers. We got to make something work with Zach Wilson. We got to tear things up. We got to draw up plays. We got to come up with different concepts. I got to talk to him. I got to watch his film from BYU. I got to do something to come up with an offense that fits this guy instead of waiting around for 1, 2, 3 months to go by and he suddenly fits this offense.
Yeah, well, one, Nathaniel Hackett, listen, Kevin O'Connell's special in my opinion. And, he's got an O-line that can really pass protect. And I would still say, even without Justin Jefferson, they have better weapons than the New York Jets do at receiver. Yes, with Jordan Addison and Powell and Hawkinson, I still would take them over what the Jets have. So, that's the thing. I do think Nathaniel Hackett has changed things on offense. He's tried to formulate around Zach Wilson. It's just hard to see the results because they can't run the ball consistently. And even like I've showed clips on my Chris Simms Unbuttoned podcast where they keep extra people into block and they still can't block and do it and get it done. So it goes beyond Hackett's ability to manage the game here because there's too many issues with the offensive talent, with the O-line being banged up and not being at its fullest. And then you couple that with, like we said, there's only one guy out there that really scares you. And this is where it stinks to go all in on Rodgers because they got Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb, not because they're scary, but because they'll be able to digest all the checks and be in the right spot for Rodgers when he checks to the right play. And so that's not helping Zach Wilson or the offense in this situation. Hackett's offense has all the answers. Is it Shanahan? Is it Mike McDaniel? Is it O'Connell? No. But there's everything there to be had. There is. It's just with the Rodgers thing and the talent around it and the situation, I think that all is adding to this kind of horrible look they got on the offensive side of the ball right now.
Do you think they would have hired Hackett if they didn't believe they were getting Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think I don't know if they would have. No, I'm not gonna. No, that's a tough one there. I think Hackett was worthy of being an offensive coordinator for sure. But do I know? No. I always kind of felt like that move was made to get Aaron Rodgers to come to town and change the football team. And I don't say that as an indictment on Nathaniel Hackett. But, yeah, in my heart of hearts, I think that move was made to, persuade Rodgers for sure.
And you mentioned Allen Lazard. That was part of the plan as well. Part of the Rodgers is going to be here. Let's make sure he's got friends and former teammates from Green Bay. Randall Cobb, Allen Lazard. I'm surprised they didn't bring in Mercedes Lewis, quite frankly.
Well, right. And, Mike, to that point
Robert Tonyan, Bobby.
Yeah, well, they got, Bobby Turner, or Turner, one of the offensive linemen he had there in Green Bay with him for a little while. Yeah, sorry, Billy Turney.
Billy Baru.
And then Lazard, listen.
Do you know what Billy Baru is? I know what Billy Baru is.
No.
I just got to stop everything and ask you if you know what Billy Baru is.
I know that name. What is it? What is Billy Baru? Go ahead now. You can't stop me.
Billy Baru. Billy Baru is the name of Judge Smale's putter from Caddyshack.
Oh, yeah, I would have never come up with that.
I don't know why. I don't know why I remember that.
I don't know why you're either.
But... Oh, Billy.
Oh, okay.
Billy. That's what he says after he makes them.
Right. But wait. Right. So back to Lazard, though, right? Because you bring up something there that's part of this problem, too. Lazard's a good player. There's no doubt, right? Solid. I like Lazard. I like a lot of the things he does. But he's a number 3 or a number 4 for most teams in football, okay? Now, he is right now the number 2 for the Jets, and we're seeing, and you kind of heard Troy Aikman allude to it on Monday night, there ain't a lot of production there. Separation, and then you're adding in drop problems to the equation as well. But this Allen Lazard was the number 3 last year on the Packers with 2 rookie receivers, right? So, yes, for most normal receiving cores, he would definitely be a 3. Of the top-notch ones or the better receiving cores in football, he would be a 4. And they're having to use him as the number 2, and that, of course, is part of the problem here. And, yeah, they're limited as far as the weapons and things that scare you on the offensive side of the ball, and then you couple that with a crappy O-line. It's hard. I don't care who's the offensive coordinator or quarterback. It's going to be hard to make that group and formula look the right way.
And, well, the Jets have issues. The Jets have a huge game on Sunday night because if they lose that one, I think it takes most of the air out of the balloon. There isn't a whole lot of air left in the balloon after Monday night. There won't be much air remaining. It's going to be like, it's just like that. It's just that tiny little puff that it's just going to be kind of like, when the balloon, when it's just kind of, that's what's going to be there after Sunday night. Oh, and by the way, they're 1 week away from their very early season ticket renewal deadline. Very, very early, November 15. So would kind of be nice to get a win in Las Vegas over the Raiders before people have to commit their thousands of dollars to renewing their season tickets for 2024 with no clear guarantee that Aaron Rodgers will be back next year. We think it's moving in that direction. He's never said clearly yes. He's never said maybe no. If I had to guess, I'd say yes. But I don't necessarily want to bet a couple of grand of my take-home pay on Rodgers coming back when the alternative is what? Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.